Hi, my name is Francisco, and this is my technical module. A little overview of what I've been doing throughout the semester, and especially the last weeks. My concept statement is investigating the social interactions in sound collaboration. One of the problems I'm trying to tackle is that collective sound experiences are usually reserved for experts. If you're a musician, you have an instrument and you know how to play it, you usually get together with other musicians and have these social experiences. But novices usually don't have the opportunity to do it because they don't know how to play an instrument. Also, the gathering rituals around music occur less often in our society now. I'm pretty sure most of us have heard histories about from our grandparents, like when they got together and around the piano, like all the family playing songs together. And I think that has been lost in these urban environments. Also, the example of the ritualistic gatherings in ancient societies, the music was also always present. My question is, how can technology facilitate collaborative sound experiences? And my goal is to provide a space where novices can engage in these kinds of social situations, ultimately to reach the state of flow that was described by Csikszentmihalyi. Shaping the experience, what kind of experience I'm looking for, putting it into very simple words. I want an experience that is fun. One that fosters communication, one that has a low entry level, so novices can be easily engaged in the experience, and one that is time flexible, where there are no time limitations for the experience. In my social module, I've been looking at different experiences, and I found this very beautiful picture. I think that this situation has something really magical. You know, these people get together and play a very simple interface, a drum with a stick. And they make very simple and basic music. It's like, tum, 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 just like that. So, but the beautiful thing about it is like they get together to have a sense of community. And also the idea of the power of the group. You know, the playing together is more powerful to communicate with the spirits than playing individually. Also, looking at this kind of special places, like a photo booth, where you enter, you close the curtain, and you can behave like crazy inside. Something that doesn't happen outside with taking a photo with a regular camera. In more musical-related spaces, like the karaoke bars, karaoke booths, they're really popular in Japan. People behave inside like differently than they would do it outside of the space. They don't feel ashamed of their behavior. Also, sorry for the crappy picture, but I met these guys. They get together in a bar in Brooklyn, and they're not a band. They're just people gathering together to play music. And what's interesting here that they have this main circle, and around this main players, there are people that are learning how to play, and they participate in the experience. More as a second layer, but they also participate in the whole thing. So, about the devices. What kind of device? One is easy to play but challenging. Highly reactive to gestures. This is very important. I've seen in all my research that this is a very important point especially for novices. Like to feel that you have a lot of control over the interface. One that provides personal and collective spaces where you can explore your own space and then share it with someone else. I also divided my, what I'm expecting about my project into expectations and interface types. And there is a wide range between entertainment and music performance. And there's a wide range between a toy and an instrument. And my zone, I feel it's kind of in the middle. Definitely it's not a toy, it's not an instrument for expert performance. So about the interface, I'm bringing up this model from New Digital Instruments, a very amazing book. This is a step for designing DMIs. First, you decide what kind of gestures you have, then how to capture them, what's the sound synthesis, like what kind of sounds you make, then how you map the gestures to the sounds, and what kind of feedback. In terms of gestures, there are two kinds, the semiotic, which they are also called naked gestures, where there's no physical contact, and the ergodic, or manipulative gestures, where there is some physical contact with a device. One example would be the very nervous system, and the other example would be the reactable, or even a vial, whatever. I'm going to go through this very fastly. Descriptive, like cinematic criterion, spatial criterion, and frequency range is what's the acceleration and speed of movements. Spatial, like what's the range of the movement, and the frequency, how often that movement occurs. And the functional, how the gesture affects the sound generation. For example, if you stroke a guitar, that's excitation. It's completely different from the drum, for example. And intrinsic is focusing on the performances, the performer's conditions to create gestures. It's very different to design something for the fingers than for the feet. In terms of capture, I've been exploring computer vision using motion sensing and motion tracking. And in terms of capture devices, I've been using the PlayStation Eye, which has been very successful so far. But I'm kind of dancing with the Kinect. In my previous presentations, I've made some critical commentaries about the Kinect, but I realized that it's not about the machines. It's about like how people approach the use of the machine. Which is really good about the Kinect is two things. One, you have a depth map, so you have like a new axis, and this is very important for me. This image was taken in complete darkness. It has an infrared camera. So I was having trouble before with the light conditions because I was using color tracking, and it was very difficult to use. So with this, I can go completely dark. Well, I'm going to wrap up. Input, I'm using Open Frameworks connected with Open Sound Control, which is basically a protocol like MIDI. Connected to Ableton Live, I'm using it because I know how to operate it, and you can create like easily very good sounds. And the mapping, or how to translate inputs into sound, they define the rules of interaction, setting affordances and constraints, and they totally affect the mood and the kind of experience. We've seen this like with my different prototypes, like how different the interactions are. They're completely different. However, I still need more testing to really define where to pinpoint my project. And in terms of feedback, this is like a challenge for me, balance between visual and sonic feedback. I've seen from a lot of projects, the ones that have like a strong visual, where the visuals are really strong, people tend to focus all their energy on the visuals. Like the effect of a kid when watching TV, they're like, they're like this, they're completely dragged into the interface. So I have to be very careful with that. Although the visuals are really important, because they provide it's a way of getting to learn how the interface works. But sound is the primary means of communication. That's important for me. And high responsiveness to inputs, I talked about that. And well, I was using this model, but it was meant for instruments, and something that was missing here was the context. I said I don't want to make an instrument, so I had to think about the space also. And that, if we remember my first prototype, that was really important. And I think you mentioned, like having these dim lights, like good sound. So what's the area space? What lighting conditions? What sound conditions? And is this space going to take an active or a passive role? So a very brief walkthrough through the prototypes. This was the first one, pressing buttons and creating a rhythm collectively. The second one, exploring the use of the whole body. The third one was detecting motion and proximity to the camera. Also, was for testing like how this interface that is here. And one of my last prototypes, this kind of instrument using color tracking. And the test we did here, I built this little device that you had to play collaboratively and work by yourself, and you see like the interaction.
This is the first time you've seen the footage of you rocking out? Like
So I'm almost finishing. Prototypes are really useful. Learning from the experience has been awesome, and they always shape the next steps. They confirm or disregard my assumptions of how the experience is going to be, and definitely acquiring technical expertise. And decision involving physical objects seems to be more appealing than using naked gestures, at least what I've seen through the different tests. Limiting the range of control possibilities is important for people who are not expert musicians. Responsiveness, with simple inputs, you get high controls, like very simple rules. And the context, a closed space that facilitates intimacy is what I'm planning to explore. This has been my process. This is from Bill Buxton, Sketching User Experiences. I've been trying like different, branches, and I feel like for the next semester I have to be on the right side. So thank you.